Hi friends, welcome back to Sage Thyme. A really cool thing happened since yesterday's reading. As you know, I discussed some of the outer beings and guides that wanted to present themselves. And it was the first time I'd really mentioned, or not mentioned, but announced some of the, that I work with other deities, goddesses, celestials, star beings, constellations, even elementals. I know I've mentioned the Fae lots of times, but since then, and maybe that's really it, acknowledging them more than simply to the self, acknowledging them out loud. And so since then, as soon as I sat down today, instantly the Lemurians came in, which are very, very purely akin to my heart and soul. My understanding of the Lemurians, my relationship with them in their different areas of timeline can be different but not distinct from other people's. I recognize and I expect that a lot of people who connect with these beings, or at least some, can recognize that they're connecting with a population at a certain point in time, in a certain stage of evolution, which has a specific background and energy to it. Like the, what is this? The Neyond Lemuria deck. I love this deck. I love her artwork. Oh wow, that's a new one. How perfect. And I just pulled that off the top. We'll keep it because it wants to be a part of this. And I resonate with it powerfully. And it's not the aspect of Lemuria that I originally and most frequently connect with. And yet it is also still most certainly Lemuria. It feels like a very advanced future timeline of them. So I bring that up because, well, I don't know why I bring it up. I bring it up because I'm asked to, or I'm prompted to. So the dragons also came in specifically, and bringing it in and down, specifically the dragons of the, they're a bit of a soft blue, almost periwinkle color. They have a celestial aspect to them in their own dragon way. They're very, very, yeah, I can feel them moving through me now. It's the confirmation tears. They're very, very powerful in their gentle, soothing, calming embrace. And less than an embrace, it's more like these waterfall waves that come through, but they're so strong that to be able to find a way to attune oneself into that just gorgeous frequency, not even frequency, that's inaccurate, resonance and rhythm and tones, to be able to align harmonics, oneself with the harmonics of the kind of, I want to say periwinkle blue, but they keep correcting me into a Celestine word, which has a similar blue. Like if you imagine the color of blue lace agate, when it moves towards that softer, almost purple periwinkle. Anyways, for me, I have a lot of forms of, well, I don't have synesthesia. I experience synesthesia. That was the word I was trying to come up with in yesterday's reading. I experience it because I am amongst other things, a translator of many, many types of languages and overlays of languages. And, pardon me, cold meets hot. And that's why I speak the way I speak, and I see things and translate them the way I do. And I'm being encouraged to express to each of you that are watching this, to open up and allow yourselves to, if you aren't already, and even further so, it might be a really good time with Mercury slowing down and stationing in its retrograde in Scorpio, to go direct. It's a really good time to open yourself up to experiencing different ways of translating different languages. Or I'm hearing, focus on one that calls to your heart rather than your mind, but it can come in the mind first sometimes. Make sure the heart's on board, because that's where the soul spark likes to speak from. I didn't realize I was shuffling. This came out, the Five of Wands in reverse, and it's perfect that it's coming out as I'm discussing the Celestine blue lace dragons, is what they're going with being called right now. Because when this is going on around us, and your sensitivities are heightened and highly absorbent, which hopefully they are very heightened. I mean, that's part of the gift, and the training format is those heightened senses. And then the gift is to learn how to embody and hold presence with the harmonics of those that you want to. And so that's it. The Celestine blue lace dragon is saying that when this energy comes in, just that feeling of needing to defend yourselves from all these sneaky little naughties and nasties and troublemakers and even innocents that are completely oblivious to the energies and entities that are running their programs on them. Because this Celestine dragon puts that on its head, and it really becomes impenetrable to your sphere and your consciousness. And that's an incredible protective orb and nourishment and nurturing that these particular strain of dragons, type of dragons, will provide. Now, of course, as soon as, and sometimes it happens really quick as you're developing even more strength in staying in the harmonics that you want to stay in, and you just turn your attention just for a millisecond to that person, that conversation, that situation, whatever it is. Or even if you let yourself get tired and run down, we become very vulnerable. And so part of the task here is to strengthen the inner energetic and spiritual immune system in accordance with our mind directing it. This is where the mind does come in beautifully, directing what we want to be embodying and surrounding us in our orb. And so that really wanted to be said. And it's funny because I was trying to shuffle the Lemurian deck, and these two cards came out, and I was going to put the mitt back in because I thought, no. And I was thinking of these blue lace dragons, the Celestine dragons, and look at what came out. That beautiful opalescent dragon, which was more symbolic, of course, but the color came through here. And of course, the words can play in so perfectly with what you're working through. Radical expression. It's so much more ineffable than anything you've experienced before. And look at this incredible divine dragon is surrounded by lightning and rainbows and mountainscape and beauty, divinity, but there's chaos too. And he's holding his own. Oh, and there's a woman there standing, I see now again, with her arms in that tree pose, which I was actually just doing before I sat down to open up my spine better and tune into it more palpably. And she has her heart wide open. You can see in her chest her heart is cut out in a shape, in a way, open to this connection of who she is as this pure dragon, and also who they are separate from her, and in that inter-exchange of cultural self and gracious receptivity. It's just gorgeous. And I'm getting those tears again. And there's the hummingbirds at her hand for the hummingbird heart. Her throat chakra is open and she's seeing through that space. Oh, that's so interesting. I talk often about seeing through the heart space, but here she's seeing through that juncture where the throat chakra meets the heart chakra, that clavicle right here. And she is from the pineal gland to that space, able to view and see and experience the world around her. And it's just so magnificent how many ways we are able to experience and interpret the world that are so far out of the the regular standard Joe and Josephine of the Muggle world. And if your name is Josephine or Joe, I apologize. That was in no way a cut. And then this card that came out as I was just talking to you in the beginning, Aether, the seamless, unspeakable. And it wants to be read. So let's do that. Let's do that. And that may be the extent of this reading. I'm going to keep it, I'm accepting the challenge of keeping some of these meetings, these gatherings, these conversations short and sweet. Cheers. Oh. All right. Oh, number 11 as well. That's coming up a lot today. 1022, which I have my own recognition in history and codex with, but you may be seeing those 11s and 22s and the 10 completion number. We are entering the last bend of the 9th year, 2025, as we enter 2026, which is a completion and a new beginning, right? The end and the beginning. Okay. Oh, yes. And zeros. Zeros being, for me and how my teachers spoke to, zeros representing both that still point, the beginner's mind, the no thought, which are each distinct and also enveloped within the zero symbology. Zero also, in a way, in the astrology chart, it represents the point right before the ascendant on the 0 degrees. So the very end of the 12th house, which would be 29 degrees and 59 minutes. And that's the 13, as well as the 13 carries into the 0. It probably might seem like gibberish, but maybe you get it, and so I'm glad I said it in either way. All right, let's read the Aether. I'll hold it up. Oh, not that one. We're done with those guys. We know they're there, but we're done with them. All right. The seamless unspeakable. 0 point field, the void, blank canvas, threshold. Anything is possible. Time to choose what you want to bring into your life. Endless possibilities, limitless, and paradox, of course, which is how I roll. You have to embrace paradox if your mind is able to open to, in your body, in your energetic field, open to as many different types of races and such as I do, realms, and anyways. All right. The illuminated space of no distraction and pure potential is beyond the threshold. It is the silent, meditative moment out of time. The centered and present place beyond the hustle of the mind and the outside world. It is where all dreams are birthed, and it is the light we may fear to be darkness, when just for one moment everything ceases to exist. This is the place between worlds, the womb before we incarnate. I was going to say pregnant pause for this. The womb before we incarnate, and from here we can choose where we go. The land has been tilled in readiness for the flowers we wish to seed. Outdated doors have been closed, and in the space between breaths, we open the new ones. What may be perceived as the endless black nothingness is actually the illuminated eternal, the core that all of our fears may be peeled back to. When we step through the darkness, we realize it is only a short distance away from the white void at the center of creation and heaven. Herein lies the feeling that we may have been striving our whole life to meet, and yet simultaneously, subconsciously running from. In this place of graceful surrender, we may know we are held and allow ourselves the spaciousness to drop deeper into the experience of our existence. Oh, this is so perfect with everything that we just touched on. And here's that gracious receptivity again. So if you're feeling this energy trying to take up your mental, physical, energetic space, go into that heart space. Get into the tree pose if you can, and stand up and lift your arms and stretch and elongate your spine and the top of your head and neck down to your tailbone, and align and lengthen that spinal highway through your body, and breathe. You don't have to even do a big yoga pose or anything. You can simply stand, feeling the base of your feet getting heavier and weighting down into the ground as the heart of the earth, with her love for you specifically, creates gravity to keep your body there as you open your energetic and other fields within you to allow and call in those Celestine blue lace periwinkle, they say no, don't say that, blue lace dragons, or yes, those. Okay. I keep trying to say something different. They're like, no, do what we're suggesting, please. We know what we're talking about. Be in that gracious receptivity. Be in that 0 point that is the everything and the nothing all at once, without attaching to any of it as it moves through you and grounds into the core of the earth. Because what is meant for you will incorporate within you, and you can work with it later. And you can simply be present to it without that mental attachment, without the deferring distractions of the external world, whether it's doing so physically or it's presenting itself energetically, getting into the mind space, into the body space, doing all its many different rackets, right? So they get into the dream space. And call upon this dragon, the Celestine blue lace dragon, to guide and guard you during your sleep states and during your vulnerable states, and honor them with your reverence and gratitude and open, gentle graciousness. This is the presence that they're asking you to meet them in. And furthermore, there is a conversation that your being will have with them on how to intermingle and exchange in right reciprocity, in respectful honoring, and again, gracious humility and gratitude. So my friends, that is it. That is the reading for this moment in this time. I hope it finds you in the most blessed ways. I'd love to hear any experiences you may have had with this or something similar, or if you try it, how that worked for you, or if there were challenges around that. That's okay too. The idea is to try it and be in the intention and open to that and get to the point where we can receive it by shedding the old passageways and caverns and structures within us. So it can take repetition to move out the old and make way and space and shape for this and many more beautiful things to come. My love for you, so true. I'll talk to you soon.